Why the duck would I hire another employee when I can make all of you salaried employees work 24/7 if I wanted to? R/ask credit by online comps. What is unethical as duck, but is extremely common practice in the business world. Hiding fees until the service is provided. I was in a car accident that required an ambulance ride, and I was charged double for it. Apparently the two ambulance companies in my area are in cahoots. So rather than share the business in my area 50/50, they apparently devised a way to split it 100/100ths. They each have one person from the other company ride in their company's ambulance. The explanation I received was since a medic from the other company was riding along in the ambulance I took, they now can both charge me. Again, they didn't split the fee. They each charge me fully. It's almost a brilliant scheme, but also absolutely unethical and ridiculous, and I can't fathom how this is even legal. On a side note, they didn't even treat me on the ride. I don't know about unethical as duck, but going through the motions of pretending to entertain outside candidates when you've already decided on who internally will get the job wastes everyone's time. Sometimes it's company policy to post and interview for all positions, especially within a union setting. It's extremely frustrating because I've been dragged through a good half dozen interviews/callbacks when they already had someone lined up, usually someone's relative. Giving your employees just few enough hours that they don't qualify as a full-time employee, so you don't have to pay them benefits. I worked at Walmart in high school. There were older adults who worked tons of overtime, really out their heart into the company. How were they rewarded? At the end of the pay period, they had shifts cancelled to keep them under 40 hours. Such a garbage company. You can bet, when I witnessed people shoplifting I looked the other way. Duck that company. Purposefully giving part-time employees erratic schedules so they can't take on a second job. Lol, I worked at a restaurant that did this. So my coworkers and I made our own schedules and traded shifts every week to keep it consistent. Manager couldn't do shit about it because we were allowed to trade shifts, and changing that policy would make half the place quit. Congratulations. You basically created a union. Loyalty is punished by laying the most work on the most productive while overlooking these workers for promotions. If you're a great worker, they give you the shit jobs because you don't bitch and moan. Chronically and purposely understaffing. Looking at you. Retail and assisted living companies. Not paying invoices until you've been chased multiple times. As standard policy. Had a boss who did this, but hated it when people did it to them. Boss claimed they paid late because everyone else did, but there are plenty of arguments each way there. Boss also hated it when one creditor replied to have the company wound up, liquidated, for non-payment because of the delay. In boss's semi-defense, it was like the proverbial sledgehammer to crack a nut. The bill was for a relatively small amount of money. In the creditor's defense, I think they were making a point about the whole late payment practice in general. A tactic that should be used more often. It's usually cheap and easy, and nothing moves a payment like the threat of bankruptcy. This one was invented by Walmart, but I know that Home Depot does it too. I'm sure other larger companies do it as well. Place an order with a well legally crafted purchase order. One of the T&C is that the company reserves the right to cancel the order at any time for any reason. The smaller company receiving the PO is all excited and they go ahead to fill the order. This often involves paying out or borrowing money in order to fulfill the order. After the product is ready to be shipped, the buyer calls the company saying stuff like, "The pricing need work, we can't make money at this price point, we need some concessions." Practically they negotiate a lower price that results in the seller working for very little money, or barely breaking even, or losing money on the order or orders at times so badly to go out of business. Treating people bad to make them quit the job because you don't have the balls to fire them, or you are afraid that the word your company can fire someone anytime will spread and you will lose control. I think this has to do with avoiding paying benefits. I think employers can sometimes be made to pay some amount of their fired employees' unemployment benefits. There are a million different variables to consider how and when this would apply, though. Unpaid internships. No excuse for this. selling user data. Unpaid internships are supposed to be on-site learning opportunities, but are often just slave labor. It's actually illegal for an unpaid intern to do anything that can be considered work for the company. But it hardly gets reported because those interns want/need that slave internship to get into their career field. Unpaid overtime, more colloquially referred to as being on salary. Miss Us had a job in a mom and pop's marketing firm. They were highly overworked salaried employees. The conversation came up about hiring another designer. The boss's response: "Why the duck would I hire another employee when I can make all of you salaried employees work 24/7 if I wanted to?" The business is now on life support and has gone from 10 employees to 2. My old salaried position requires copious amounts of overtime. In the end, my hourly wage was less than the people I was supervising. Salary is a fucking scam. Their whole argument is that way it doesn't matter how much you work, you get paid the same amount. So if you have a slow week with little to do, you can leave early and not worry. It'll just be balanced out when it's crunch time and you have to do unpaid OT. Thing is, there's basically never a time where you have so little work you can skip out, and on the occasions that you can, good luck not getting in trouble for making the company pay you for not doing anything. Never mind that you're doing extra work for no pay far more often. Firing people for medical issues. I don't know about all the states etc. If anyone knows, please illuminate. A coworker of mine took a long medical leave for a spinal issue she was having with her neck. I believe she had surgery and then was on leave for a few weeks. Doc recommended not working more than 4 hours a day. When she came back with that news 2 hours, they fired her on the spot. I thought medical issues would be a discriminatory termination, but apparently they can just let you go if the state is at will. Sorry you had this invasive surgery that cost you a fortune, but you don't have a job anymore, see ya. Lobbying the government to change the law to benefit your business. You pay for electioneering, they get elected and hook you up. Lower taxes, weakened regulations, etc. Hacking democracy. When I worked part-time at Sam's Club, the manager was intentionally cutting our hours back to take away from our bonus and add to his at the end of the year. Letting people ask their way to the top when they are highly unqualified happens more than it should and causes a lot of issues for people who are under them or who didn't get that position because they don't ask but are way more qualified. Hire them as independent contractors so that you don't have to actually give them any benefits, travel, healthcare, etc. And so you have a quick tax write-off. But still force them to sign exclusive contracts where you can't work anywhere else. WWE would be freaking screwed if anyone with money ever tried suing them and didn't take a settlement. Settlements mean no decision can be made. It would force a decision they wouldn't like. Let this pup guide your way to hit the subscribe button and bell icon. Leave a comment and like this video if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and spread the love.